In this video, we're going to create a sales order. So we go to the Customer tab, and we can search for our customer based upon various criteria. We can search for them based upon their account code or their customer name. I'm going to look for their customer name. Notice I've got my grid with stacked, so you can also separate them and put them next to each other or different layouts. But I'm going to do it in this stack view. And as immediately as I start typing, it filters right down to what I'm looking for. For purposes of this video, I double-clicked and opened this up to the full screen mode so it'd be a little easier to see. But we're going to do a sales order. So when you get a phone call from the customer, you might want to verify their service address, their billing address, their contact info. With any of these, if they've got a new address, you can add it or you can edit an existing one. As in anywhere pretty much in Trakker, there's an edit grid option for fields. When you've got that enabled and you've got fields that are tan like this, you can go into edit and move into those fields to be editing them. And then when you move off of that tab, if you've made a change, it'll ask do you want to save it. In addresses, though, however, there is a nice thing where it will actually validate the address for you using Google to see if this is actually a good address or not. So if you open up an address and you fill it in, I'm just going to make a change to take the period off the road, and it's going to say, oh, we have one suggestion. Actually, I made up this address, so apparently it's not a good address at all. But it could be that this was a address that is a new address that's not a new subdivision, new area that's not in Google yet. So you can, if you double-click this, it'll fill in with the address. If this was a good address, sometimes you have a lane, a court, and a drive, and you got to ask the customer, well, which is it? Other times you might just hit Save As Is, and it will save that address just as you have it. So we'll close back out of that, and contact information, you can check this. Make sure that their email address is correct and that this is the email address that they want their invoices to be emailed to. So after you verify that, we can come over and we start a sales order. So I'm going to add a new sales order, and this will open up. You can see it fills in my service address, the default one. If there was more, I could choose the correct one. The bill to, there's typically only one, but it fills it in there. And I'm going to quickly go down to just fill in products. So I'm going to add a new, and I'm going to add in, I can just start typing, or I can do a drop down and search and filter to find what I'm looking for. In this case, I know I'm looking for this one. I can hit tab, fill in a quantity. As I fill in the quantity, the price will automatically look up based upon all the pricing rules, which we'll cover in another video. And you can type in some notes here about it if you want. I'm going to then hit F10, which is a shortcut for save and new. So I'm going to hit F10. It'll save that, keep this form still open, and then I can just type in the next product. And you can see now it actually typed in one with the description. The first one I chose apparently did not have a description filled in for. I put in a quantity here. Now I can hit F10 to save and new and keep adding them until I'm done. In this case, I'm done. This is my last one. I'm going to hit F9, which throughout Trakker, you know, F9 does a save and close. And here are my items. Now I can recalculate my total, and that will calculate all the taxes and everything. Give me a subtotal, all the taxes, and then the grand total. It also, you'll see, I've got an order number. I can also put in the customer's PO number if they have one. We'll say that they had that as their number. They might have a preference for shipping. You can type in other notes about the order or office notes. These office notes are just for the office. These notes can sometimes appear on your invoice, depending upon how your invoice is configured to include these notes, but often these notes would then be included on the paperwork to the customer. And again, I can hit F9, save and close. Brings me back here, and here's my sales order. I can Open again to review, but pretty much I am done. I now have my sales order. I'm ready to print packing slips or whatever I want to do from here.